How's everything going, guys? Welcome to a brand new video here. I am Mr. Guenter, or ACA Guenter. Welcome to another video here. Welcome to a Scott the Woz reaction video. Some of you are going to be like, I thought you already done Scott the Woz. Yes, I did. This video in particular I've already done. I did it 4 years ago. The reason why I deleted my Scott the Woz videos is because I wasn't happy with the channel. I had a lot of dead wood on the channel, a lot of dead wood, to a point where I literally deleted all my YouTube content. I've literally rebranded and started again. So what I'm doing for Scott the Woz is I'm going to go back and through. First I'm going to do with Sonic videos. So this video is on Sonic 1 for the Mega Drive, or Genesis for you guys in America. So yeah, I haven't seen this video since I did the reaction on it over 4 years ago. Some people would be like, well, they're not reactions. I won't class this as a reaction. This is more of a discussion, or a refresh, or a rewatch. But I'm going to be doing that with a lot of Scott the Woz videos anyway. But I'm just going to tell you this right now, guys. I'm not going to be doing Scott the Woz all the time. On my channel, I think I had 223 Scott the Woz reaction videos. There's going to be a mix of different people. I'm not just going to focus on Scott. It's going to be a good mixture of people on different channels this time. And I'm planning not to rebrand or anything. I'm staying as ACA Guenter. So there's no rebranding. I'm not going to be changing anything. So this is basically a complete refresh and a complete restart. So today we're going to be doing Scott the Woz's video on Sonic 1 for the Mega Drive. Bare for a laughing stock. Whilst I eat my beef and tomato flavoured pot noodle. Not my favourite flavour. My favourite is chicken tomato. Let me know in the comments below what is your favourite flavour of pot noodle, or cup noodle I think it's called in America. So right, let's get on this video, guys. Sonic the Hedgehog 1991, bare for the laughing stock. The franchise is the reason why I'm a gamer. So let's get on with it. Let's go. I've not seen this video in over 4 years.
Hey y'all, Scott here. Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. One of the most iconic video games of all time, no doubt, but many have considered it to
I agree.
have aged poorly. Now,
kinda. Yeah, compared to Sonic 2, Sonic 1 has aged.
in terms of my opinion of it, just a warning, I grew up with the game, so I'm biased. Before there were septum piercings, playing Sonic the Hedgehog was the only way to lash out at your parents. You have to take their word for it that he's a hedgehog. Like, if you saw this thing crawling towards you on the street, I doubt the first thing you shout is, "Someone get this hedgehog away from me!" His attitude-riddled, fast-paced nature was the perfect combatant to Nintendo's Mario. That's actually the entirety of the reason behind Sonic's conception. Sega...
Yeah, because look at that. That, Alex Kidd McCord, was basically Sega's mascot. Does that box art there scream the mascot? No, it doesn't. Also, I like the fact of it used grey and white squares on the box. If you look on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, it's actually reversed. It's actually black and white. It's quite clever.
Sega wasn't lighting the world on fire with their Master System and their then mascot Alex Kidd. They needed something bolder, something newer. A company-wide character design contest was held to find the perfect new face for Sega. A few designs were thrown around, such as a rabbit and a Teddy Roosevelt-looking guy who eventually became the series antagonist.
Also, that rabbit had a name, Feel the Rabbit, where it used his arm to extend and grab enemies, but they used that concept later on for Rystar.
Finally settled on a hedgehog designed by Naoto Oshima. Due to the gameplay concept of the main character rolling into a ball to gain speed from programmer Yuji Naka, the hedgehog design was chosen, with many other design aspects coming from other inspirations. Shoes from Michael Jackson and Santa Claus, an attitude like Bill Clinton's, his color coming from the Sega logo. This character was shaping up to become the mascot Sega always dreamed of. The original name was Mr. Needle Mouse, but then they thought, wow, we actually want to sell this game, and decided upon Sonic.
Not true. Not true. Basically, in Japanese, when you take the word Mr. Needle and Mouse and put it together, you basically create the hedgehog. It was never called Mr. Needle Mouse. It was actually a mistranslation on Oshima's original printout that people have seen, which they've translated into Needle Mouse. It wasn't. The actual prototype name for Sonic was Mr. Hedgehog, and it always has been.
A few ideas were scrapped before release, such as a real-life human girlfriend for Sonic and having him be a part of a rock band. Also, the design of Sonic himself was altered a bit to be more appealing to American audiences. Just look at the Japanese and American designs. They're similar, but have a few differences here and there. After releasing on June 23, 1991, Sega decided to get even more aggressive, as they knew what they had was definitely more than enough to combat Nintendo. The Genesis received a price drop and got Sonic the Hedgehog bundled in, and that's when everything really started to heat up. Sonic was already doing well before being bundled with the system, but afterwards, it was almost impossible to own a Genesis without Sonic. The speed and attitude of the game fit right in with the 90s, and Sonic the Hedgehog became one of the most iconic video games and characters of all time.
100% agree. I 100% agree on that. Like I say, if it weren't because of Sonic the Hedgehog, I probably wouldn't be a gamer. So, Sonic's the reason why I'm a gamer in the first place. If it weren't because of him, I wouldn't be playing video games right now.
This was the first game that I ever truly owned. My cousin gave me his hand-me-down Sega Genesis Model 2 with a copy of Sonic. Here's the Model 1, which is the only one I have nowadays, and plus I think the design is way cooler. High-definition graphics, yeah, keep telling yourself that. And now a bit of history.
That is pretty funny, to be fair. It says high-definition graphics when we associate graphics nowadays with high definition. It's weird.
Between me and the entirety of the Sonic franchise. I really like Sonic 1, but I could never get past Marble Zone. I still played the game a lot, but never got far. I ended up getting 2 more Genesis games, Ms. Pac-Man and Sonic 2. Same thing with Sonic 1, couldn't get past Chemical Plant. I know sex with me has definitely decreased in value after that little tidbit.
Yes. I don't want you anymore, Scott.
Once I got a GameCube, I got the Sonic Mega Collection, which I loved. I adore little bonus features and extras, and Mega Collection had loads of these, in addition to the 2 games I played.
A little bit of Spring Yard. Love the music, by the way, Scott. I had that growing up. I had Mega Collection growing up, because I had a Mega Drive growing up. And then I didn't play Sonic for a few years because I had an N64 PlayStation. And then when we got a GameCube and installed this, we bought this day one.
A lot, and others like Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Spinball, Mean Bean Machine, and even 3D Blast. I oddly have a lot of nostalgia for 3D Blast, and I have trouble sleeping to this very day because of it. And that was it in terms of Sonic for me. Never played the 3D games during this era. Haven't played Adventure, or at least enough of it. I played like 5 minutes of it and didn't really like it. I haven't played Adventure 2, I haven't played Heroes, I haven't played... Ha! I saw loads of trailers for Sonic Unleashed before it came out, and I thought it looked amazing.
I'm going to say it again, Sonic 06 is not that bad. Like, for example, the music's incredible. I kind of like the story in Sonic 06. I know that makes me sound like, what the fuck? But, yeah, I did like the music on Sonic 06.
I got it for Christmas 2008, and it was okay.
Sonic Unleashed is banging. 360 PS3 version. Sega, re-release it now!
I think it deserves all the hate it gets, but I think it was just okay. I thought Sonic Colors was alright too. I just haven't played a ton of it and thought there were too many 2D sections for my liking. I like 2D Sonic, but modern Sonic in 2D isn't the most fun to control. I like modern Sonic way more in 3D. But man, Generations was great. Not just based on nostalgia, not just because it brings back old levels, but because the game is fun. Classic Sonic's fun, modern Sonic's fun. It's not perfect, but I thought it was a really good game. I haven't played Lost World or Mania just came out, and oh my, oh me, it's a good game. I recently beat Sonic CD, and I must say it's the epitome of a mixed bag for me. At its best, it's the best. At its worst, it's the worst.
Eloquently put it. So yeah, you could consider me a fan of the
I would love Scott. He hasn't done it yet. Scott needs to do a video on Mania. I think Scott should do Mania, because he's done all the other 2D Sonic games. I think he should do Mania.
Sonic games unanimously considered good, which at that point makes me more of a fan of just good games in general.
Well, today, let's take a look back at the very first Sonic the Hedgehog. And no, we're not playing the excellent Christian Whitehead port on mobile, which is outstanding, and they should totally let him remaster Sonic 3 and Knuckles and also bring the port to consoles and PC. We're not playing the version on GBA, which has numerous frame rate problems, screen crunch, and slowdown. Ew. No, we're playing the Genesis original, black box and all. Jesus!
Peggy 18.
Let's have
Is that what you really want, son?
That's an advert for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I played the first one of that. That's actually not a bad little game, actually. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yeah, I'm playing... My favourite game I'm playing at the moment is I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla at the moment. I'm 30 plus hours in. I'm still playing it. I'm still playing it off camera. I'm fucking loving it.
Lucky shot.
I hate re-releases like this. This, Player's Choice, Greatest Hits, Platinum Hits, they can all piss themselves in the dick. They're just an eyesore. Why does Player's Choice have to be yellow? Why? Actually, we're playing the version on Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. Sorry for the cock tease. Let's finally dive into this. Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis. Sonic 1 is split up into 6 zones with 3 acts each and one final zone.
Green Hill, Marble, Spring Yard, Labyrinth, Starlight, Scrap Brain, and then Final Zone.
Which is basically just a final boss battle. The third act in a zone is generally the most difficult and lengthy, while also including a boss fight with Dr. Robotnik / Eggman / Iron.
Am I the only one who thinks Starlight Zone from Sonic 1's quite chilled and quite laid back? It's quite nice to listen to when you want to have a nice chill. I recommend it. If you ever want to have a nice chill, just like relax for a bit, listen to that song.
Refuse to know anymore, who has taken all the woodland creatures and turned them into robots, which you obviously refuse to have any of. Now, Sonic controls well, pretty standard for a platformer to be honest, which is good, everything feels fine. You can only damage enemies in your ball form, which is most prominent while jumping, and Sonic of course can go much faster than your average mascot, which is the main selling point of the game.
Yeah.
Why else would they name him Sonic instead of Smokey the Hedgehog? It's because this sucker can go fast if
Smokey the Hedgehog. Kinda like that name, actually.
the level allows for it. There are springs and loop-de-loops set up all over the place to help you gain momentum, and gaining speed in Sonic is a nice reward after some tricky platforming, which is what Sonic primarily comprises of. Platforming. When you get down to it, Sonic is a pretty standard platformer with a few level design choices to help you go fast in certain instances. There isn't much in terms of power-ups in the game. You have a shield and invincibility, which do their job. Rings are your life bar. If you get hit with rings, you lose them all and have to nab them back to stay afloat. Get hit without rings and get that...
So I actually heard, I can't remember, what was it, Smooth McGroove? I remember ages ago he did like an a cappella version of the Starlight music. It's incredible.
Darn Morgruddy. The overall idea of Sonic's game design, I like the ring system. I like using speed
Yeah, I
as a
agree.
reward after platforming. However, the game doesn't really do as much with the design as I'd want it to.
Yeah, I agree. Scott's right there as well. The designs are not quite... Compared to number 2, the design on number 1's a little bit off.
It really feels lopsided sometimes. Like, some zones, there's barely any speed at all, which makes certain acts drag. Alas, this issue was definitely addressed in later Sonic games, but overall, Sonic 1 feels much more like an everyday standard platformer than a Sonic game.
Yeah.
At least in comparison to the later entries.
Yep. Yeah, Sonic 1 is more platform heavy than it. Supersonic speed. But Sonic 1's a good game.
The game, of course, starts off with Green Hill Zone, one of the most famous levels in all of gaming. And let me tell you, this is everything a fun Sonic level should be. There's loads of areas to gain speed, but just holding right isn't going to net you a win. You have to still do tons of platforming to succeed, and being skilled enough at the level allows you to either beat it in record time, get to areas with hitting goodies with ease, or even both. The colors are so vibrant, the music is outstanding. Now this is a Sonic. Rest of the game reeks, or at least the next zone. Marble Zone is the reason why menopause will reign supreme by 2040, and I'll let you in on some insider information. That isn't good. I could do this big analytical take on why this level blows, but I don't have to. It's just bad. I don't think anybody likes this level, it's awful. Now, I don't believe all Sonic levels need to be fast all the time. Au contraire, if Sonic was always fast, that would make the speed section so much less satisfying.
Yeah.
But this is just boring. This level is way too drawn out, the same things over.
Yeah. Because you got this high speed antics of Green Hill, and then it just fucking falls down a cliff at Marble Zone. But then Spring Yard does pick it back up again, and then it goes down again for Labyrinth, and then up again for Starlight because Starlight's quite quick, and then it drops off again for Scrap Brain. So it's very inconsistent with the way the speed feels, the way the level design is, if you know what I mean.
Over and over again. Waiting on this block, going across the lava slowly, waiting for this spike chandelier platform to come down. It's just not fun. Marble Zone is not fun. I'd probably give it some slack if there were some sections to go fast, but no, it's just boring, long, and tedious. Spring Yard Zone is up next, and it's a competent Sonic level with loads of springs to gain momentum and roll all over the place. Labyrinth Zone is up next, and welcome back, negativity, it's been too long. This is just boring. This zone didn't really feel like much of a labyrinth. Like, the only part I remember being remotely maze-like was in Act 3, where a sequence was continually repeated until you went down the right path.
Screw you, Labyrinth Zone. Do like the music though.
And even then, there were only a few paths you could take, so no biggie. This zone really isn't known for being a maze. No, it's a water level. And man, I hate the underwater sections in Sonic 1. Major slowdown happens when you get hit by an enemy, and it's just annoying. And yeah, underwater sections blow in most games, but at least in other games, you can swim by continually pressing jump. In Sonic, it's just a much slower version of the game where you die in like 4 seconds if you don't get to air. Starlight Zone is next, and it's a solid way to wash out the aftertaste of Labyrinth Zone. It's a relatively subdued level. It's actually a bit relaxing, a bit basic for a zone, but solid enough.
Yeah.
Scrap Brain Zone is the final full zone in the game, and it definitely feels like it. Listen, I don't have much to say about this zone because it's all on Act 3. This is Labyrinth Zone's revenge. Remember when I said the original zone didn't feel like much of a maze?
Yeah. Labyrinth Act 4. Joy.
Don't worry, it was warming up for this sucker. This act blows, the majority of it's underwater, and there are just not enough air bubbles to keep you alive. The only way I could beat this act is the shortcut at the very beginning of the stage. Slipping underneath the platform brings you to a much quicker route. And then Final Zone, after being awarded most zone name, the zone carries forth one of the easiest final bosses from this generation of games. The boss fights in this game are always relatively pretty easy and underwhelming. Except Starlight Zone's boss, I thought that one was really clever and fun. It used the seesaw mechanic used earlier in the zone, and I just like this one a lot. If you collect 50 rings and keep them till the end of either Acts 1 or 2 in each zone, you can hop into the big ring at the end for a chance to nab a Chaos Emerald in the special stages. Starting in Sonic 2, if you get 7 Chaos Emeralds, you gain the ability to transform into Super Sonic, a solid reward, but in Sonic 1, getting the only 6 Chaos Emeralds get you the best possible ending, which is
Yeah, because it's 6 Chaos Emeralds. The 7th Chaos Emerald, which was the Cyan one, was actually introduced, I believe, on Sonic 2 for the Mega Master System. Was when the first time that was ever used. Because it was 6 on the Master System version of the first game, of the 8-bit version as well.
barely any different from the bad one. It's weird because the back of the box clearly states it's Super Sonic. I'm not a fan of these special stages. It never really feels like I'm in full control. The stage rotates all around and you can only fully jump and move around on solid terrain. I can easily get the first Chaos Emerald, but on this playthrough I gave up after the second attempt.
You don't need to go far to leave it all behind.
Ace.
ASICS, sound mind, sound body.
That brand, ASICS, when I was younger, I always thought it was called Basics, because I thought that was a B. Oh!
No thank you. You know how I said the rest of the game reeks after Green Hill Zone? Let's evaluate that statement. Those 16 syllables make it seem as if I'm dogging all over Starlight Zone and Springyard Zone. No, those are okay stages. I don't think as highly of them because everything after Green Hill looks drab. Like, the first level hits you hard with color and saturation, and the rest of the game goes for this darker color palette and not as many detailed environments. And I don't know, I think a lot more color and variety in zone themes would have helped out tremendously.
It was because the original plan for Sonic, for Sonic 1, because its design was, it was going to start to nature and slowly become more technological and mechanical. That was the original plan.
Specifically zone themes, like, what is this? But the soundtrack, I don't have to linger on this, it's amazing. It's one of the defining and best soundtracks of the 16-bit generation. It's fantastic. This game is hard, but a good handful of times, it's just unfair. How was I supposed to know this was a bottomless pit? How was I supposed to know this platform was immediately gonna fly away this fast? How did I die? It didn't even touch me! A lot of Sonic's gameplay is based around trial and error, which I think is kind of a lazy design choice. Instead of designing something in a way to alert players of what's to come, if they want to do something a little racy, just let them die, they'll figure it out that way. That would be okay in some regards if the game had a save feature or at the very least had a password system, but you're supposed to beat Sonic all in one go if you want to be pure about it. You can enter a level select code at the title screen, but come on, that's not how you beat the game. I think the game
Up, down, left, right, A, B, start, I believe.
game could have really benefited from a password feature. Games with saves were still in their infancy back then, so I can kind of understand the lack of a battery save option, but come on, a password would have been lovely. And that's the entirety of Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. When you get down to it, the game is short. Now, it does take around 2 hours or so on the first playthrough, however, I have to say, with only 6 full zones and 3 levels each and 1 final boss fight, Sonic feels a bit light for a 16-bit game. Of course, the SNES hadn't come out yet, so this game was more so competing with 8-bit platformers. And when you take that into consideration, yeah, this game blew the majority of those things out of the water comparing them side by side. But I think it definitely comes up short in comparison to a lot of Nintendo's offerings on
Fucking Super Mario World is massive. Well, how many levels? 92 levels on Super Mario World. Super Mario World's massive compared to this.
On the SNES or even NES at the time, and of course later Sonic games. Like Sonic 2 improves on everything this game did. I feel like Sonic owes a good amount of his success to Green Hill Zone. I know people are getting sick of this level nowadays, but it is literally the perfect Sonic level. Good amounts of speed, good amounts of platforming, just the right length. It does everything.
I like the fact that he's playing Scrap Brain in the background. Scrap Brain's, when it comes with this game, I love Scrap Brain's music.
It's supposed to. If Green Hill Zone wasn't in the original Sonic game or wasn't the first level, I don't think he'd be as popular as he was. Sonic 1 is a decent romp that's fun to pop in from time to time, but it is nowhere near as fun or designed as well as later entries on the Genesis. It's really difficult to pinpoint my wholehearted opinion on the game. It isn't a bad game, but it definitely needs some time to think about what it's done. How about this? A great blueprint for the franchise, not that great of a game though. If you want to start somewhere, I'd recommend
I'll give you an opinion at the end of the video.
Sonic 2. This game has way too many parts that are simply frustrating, boring, or not fun in comparison to later games. However, I still have a fondness for this game. Nowadays, Sonic is known for, look how fucking stupid he looks. But Sonic 1 deserves to be recognized as a landmark title in gaming history. Through all of its only 6 zones, easy boss fights, unfair challenges, enemy placement and design, stupid dumb and stupid special stages, I think I actually hate this game.
Yeah, this game actually reeks. Son of a bitch, I'm so lucky!
Right. What he said then, about Sonic 1, I agree with him. It's basically a blueprint for the other Mega Drive games, for the other games in the franchise. But compared to the others, no. Yeah, I agree with him. I think Scott's got that right on the head, I think. So, let me know in the comments below, where would you put Sonic 1 on the Mega Drive on your best Sonic games list when it comes with the 2D ones? For me, it goes Mania, 3 and Knuckles, CD, 2 and no. Mania, 3 and Knuckles. Yeah, I think, yeah. CD, then 2, then 1. So that's my order. What's your order? Leave it in the comments below. Do check out my next upload. My next upload will be in 24 hours time. I'm going to be doing another episode of Castlevania. At the moment, guys, I'm just keeping it simple. One reaction video and then a let's play and alternating them. Midnight uploads. I'm just trying to keep it simple. Alright. So, have a good one, guys. I'll see you in a bit. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Love you all. Bye-bye.